So let us have the 7 steps of the modified systematic approach. Again, 7 steps. Nakikita naman, di ba? Okay, color green number 7. Okay, ano ba yung 7 steps natin? First is the secure the demographics of the requestor. Second step is to retrieve the necessary background information. Again, sorry. Bago ko sila i-flash lahat, ginagawa natin to guys pag meron na tayong request for information from the patient. So gagawa tayo ng sagot natin using this systematic approach. Nakukuha ba? Kunwari may nag-request about a drug, kung paano siya gamitin. So, paano natin mapro-provide yung information? We need to use this modified systematic approach. Nakuha? Nakuha nyo yan. Third step is to determine the ultimate question to be answered. And fourth step is to develop an appropriate searching strategy. And fifth step is to evaluate, analyze, and synthesize the gathered information. Sixth step is to formulate and communicate the answer. And your last step is to conduct follow-up and provide necessary documentation. With no further ado, let us proceed to our first step. Our first step is again to secure the demographics of the requestor and determine when the information is needed. Your first step is one of the most important. Why? Because it set the stage for how to approach the question, what format to use in answering the question, and when the information is needed by the requestor. Another one is to immediately assess the level of understanding of the patient. So, sa first step natin guys, we need to level ourselves to our patient. Let us not be judgmental, but we need to, alam nyo yun, work lang and have confidentiality. Also, on our first step, there is the need for information about your patient's biodata, like sex, the age, the income. So what's the importance of sex? For physiologic characteristics, age for maybe age-related diseases, and income for clinical decision making. So what is the best medicine for this patient, having said that this is his or her only income? Again, the biodata is very important to confirm the identity of the patient. Got it? So let's now proceed to our second systematic approach or second modified systematic approach, which is retrieve the necessary background information from the requestor about the questions. So what are these background information? So it includes allergies, maybe for checking contraindication of the medicine, laboratory data for checking prognosis. Reading assignment po natin, what is prognosis? Another is medical diagnosis. So this is very important for us to understand more the situation of the patient. And one of the most important background information na a responsibility ng isang pharmacist is about medication. So in our second step, we need to act as a detective. And it is important to determine general versus specific questions. So again, it will be your reading assignment to be familiar with general keywords and specific keywords. Ginawa na natin yan sa ating Pharmacy Informatics Laboratory. Please also note that a potential problem can arise when dealing with a requestor who is not the ultimate individual in need of the information. Kumbaga, merong third party. Example guys, pag merong isang physician, nag-ask siya ng question sa isang pharmacist. Tapos yung pharmacist naman, magko-contact siya sa isang drug information specialist for assistance. Ngayon, chances ay, yung third party, he or she doesn't have enough information about the practitioner's background related question. Nakuha nyo yun, merong breach. So, hindi kompleto yung information na makukuha ng drug information specialist natin. So, as a result, the third party needs to go back to the original requestor to obtain your information. So let us have examples of important background informations to be collected. Drawing lang yan, okay? So we have there your table 11.3. So makikita nyo dyan, the age, the sex, the height, weight, we need to get those information. Drug or food allergies, nabanggit ko na kanina. Past medical history, major organ function, like there are drugs that needs to assess the liver function first before giving the drugs. Meron mga ganon, the kidneys, yan. And current disease states and diagnosis, and andyan na po sa image na nakikita nyo dyan. Okay, got it? Now, let's proceed to our third step, which is to determine the true information or to determine the true informational need and categorize the ultimate question to be answered. So, paano ba natin i-categorize yung ultimate question natin? So, classification is according to area of focus like adverse reaction, therapeutic use, dosing, pharmacokinetics, drug interaction, and other product identification or availability. Again, the third step is very important to know what reference to consult. Again, yung question ba pang adverse reaction? Yung question ba pang drug interaction? Nakuha nyo tong step na to? Okay. Next up is our fourth step, which is to develop an appropriate searching strategy and conduct a thorough research. Again, most researchers, they begin with tertiary resources. Alala nyo yung flow of answering question upon having a query. So again, from tertiary to secondary, and secondary source will lead you to further optimize your answer by using your primary literature. Again, remember, yung flow ng resources natin from tertiary to secondary to primary. Meron din from medium quality internet to high quality internet sources. I will also be making videos on how to use search techniques, which will be siguro pagkatapos ng discussion na to, makikita nyo na rin yung search technique video. Now, let us proceed to our fifth step, which is evaluate, analyze, and synthesize the gathered information. For successful evaluation and analysis of information found, one must consider the limitation of the resources. So, ano ba yung kailangan nating i-note sa ating fifth step? One is to note the currency of the resource. B, your expertise of the author. Next is reference citation, and last to note is biases. Again, sa evaluate, analyze, and synthesize step natin, dito ulit papasok yung step na are the results valid? Are the results significant? Will these results help determine care for the patient? Naalala nyo yun? Yung 3 key questions. Nandun siya sa framework for EBP. Now we're down to our second to the last step, which is to formulate and communicate the answer. This is simply providing a response. So in our sixth step, there is now the requirement for having a good communication skills. So how are you going to communicate the answer? Is it through call, through email, or in a written response? So again, the information must be provided in a timely manner kung kailangan na. Sana maibigay na natin. It also must be presented in format agreed upon. Do you follow a template or a format in giving the information? And the information should be presented at the level appropriate for the requestor. Again, if the patient is just hindi ko naman sinasabing simpleng tao lang siya, wala siyang hindi siya familiar sa mga medical terms, so we need to use your layman's term. Pero kung medical practitioner, we can use our medical terms kasi magkakaintindihan tayo. Again, this is very important to have the information presented at a level appropriate for the requester. Whew, we're almost done. Okay. Next, or simply, we'll have our last step, which is to conduct follow-up and provide necessary documentation. Usually, we need to conduct a follow-up after 2 to 3 days. So, in our seventh step, again, the response is very important. Why? We need to ensure that the response truly provides what is needed. Again, for example, sa ating 7th step, meron tayong example na case. Kunwari, nakapagbigay ka na ng information sa patient. Pero, after 2 weeks, nagkaroon ulit ng bagong information. So, you need to provide the new information to your requestor para updated. Galing ano? Dapat ganun tayo. We need to give optimum drug information. Also, we need to ensure that informations are received well. Diba? Nakuha po ba? Simply by communication, yung face-to-face, nakuha po ba? Or simply asking the requestor if the information or the request has been answered or the answer has been provided. Okay? Documentation must be done using your SOAP method and your PDAAR method. So, your SOAP method and your PDAAR method last part na kasi kaya nag-method na. So, method, this documentation procedure will be your reading assignment. So, transcribe. Ano kaya yung S sa SOAP method? Ano kaya yung P sa PDAR method? Nakuha? And that's it for our week 4 Pharmacy Informatics lecture. That's the end. But before I end this discussion or this video, please, again, my students, please do comment down below kung ano yung pinaka tumatak sa inyong topic sa discussion na to. Nakuha? Okay? Nakuha po? Thank you. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give this video a like button. Siyempre sa mga students ko, I have 28 students. So, I'm expecting 28 likes and 28 comments. 28 comments and check that as your attendance. And that's it for our class. Goodbye. See you on our next class.